you see a lot of tourist attraction. You see a mountain over there. Yeah, there's a mountain over there. If you can see it, it's also surrounded by hills as it stands right now. Now, these are tourist destinations that the Federal Capital Territory Administration, the FCDA, is trying to explore to ensure that everything in Abuja counts, especially when it has to do with tourism. Now, the quarries also are being opened up for tourist attraction. Now, joining us this morning will be the Tourism Volunteer Network and the person of Phil Roberts will be with us this morning to talk to us about some of the achievements and some of the developmental strides when it has to do with tourism in the Federal Capital Territory. He will be here any minute from now, but this is the deadline, Abuja. I thought he will be here early enough so that we'll be able to rub minds and you get to hear from him and also get to ask salient questions that borders on tourism in Abuja. But generally, when you look at Abuja as it stands right now, you know that the capital of Nigeria is in dire need of exposure in terms of tourism. And the faster we begin to harness this potential that is in the Federal Capital Territory, the faster it will become for us to generate enough income for the Federal Capital Territory. So that's what the issue for today. Now, lastly, before I even let you go, it might interest you to know that the Federal Capital Territory, the youths are coming alive even at this morning. Now, most organizations right now are being sponsored, are being fronted by youth representatives across board to ensure that they maximize their output in generality. Now, a lot of conferences are going on. NG Cares are holding a 3 days conference in order to ensure that they bring youth on board that can in turn revolutionize the way we care for people and the way we also handle things technologically wise. So Abuja right now, a lot of conferences, a lot of partnerships, symposiums are going on in order to reorientate the youth that the Nigerian belongs to them, that Nigerian is theirs too, and yes, Nigerian is theirs too. Decide what will be the future of Nigeria. So that's why you saw, like I told you earlier on, that we have neglected tropical diseases youth corps that was inaugurated yesterday. So other youth, even in tourism sector, we have youth volunteers in the tourism sectors right now that have been by the FCDA, and they work directly with a department of the FCDA. But we'll find out all of that in the course of today. But then this alpha I can run at this time, Charles. How is ENUGU this morning, Charles?
Enugu is fine. Enugu is fine, really. Everyone is drilling with this crazy queues on fuel stations. So many persons are stuck in the fuel stations. Some are stuck in different places that they feel that they could buy for cheaper prices. Some are stuck in other places. They just want to go about their business and they go buy as high as 850, 900. But I just wanted to ask you, there's an update about the the police arrests of the NLC president, Joe Ajero. There was even a meeting at the office yesterday. Can you give us an update regarding that?
All right. So we got that update yesterday, and that police are going to pick Joe Ajero. But then I cannot confirm right now if he is in police custody or the police have picked him. So we still assume that it's an alleged pickup by the Nigerian police because we don't know. One thing we do is that I don't want to be being hypothetical. I don't want to be speculative. I want to give the facts the way it is. Just like I told you the last time when we went to Nigerian Labour House to check, we were there. We checked everything that they said was picked, and the room was actually empty without documents. So right now, if we say that the police have allegedly picked up Joe Ajero, we're yet to get the spokesperson for the Nigerian police to confirm that to journalists. But I know that he will confirm it because we're still trying to put calls through to him to confirm. As soon as he picks and confirms that Joe Ajero is probably with the FCT and police command or is with at the force headquarters at an Edet House, I'll make that available to you. But then for now, I cannot authoritatively say that he has been picked up by the police. I can't confirm that story right now, but we're still following up to ensure that we can confirm the story. So probably before the day runs out, we'll be able to give furnish you with more information on that on this report, Charles.
Here's your reporting this morning. All right, we're switching gears now. Another guest is waiting on the wings for another interesting discourse. So stay with us. Be right back after this.
the relatives, they are usually torn on their flesh. Once your coverage is gone, it will just be like as if they've been waiting for opportunity like that to tell you the kind of people they are. So they go through a lot. One, taking the properties away from them, especially the Igbos. If you are not fortunate to have a male child, in quotes, you stand no chance of getting anything as you ought to, because it was your husband that worked for those things. Your relatives would just come out from nowhere, even though they've never showed face. But you begin to see that you have a lot of relatives hidden because they've seen opportunity. They would just like ants, they would just invest on you and take out all things that you ought to take as.
Of having a hand in the debt, and some negative things are done. One of which includes, in some communities, they say we must bet you, we must bet the dead person, and you drink the water to just to prove that you don't have a hand in the death of the man. And this is a person, a woman who should be grieving for losing her husband, and she's been, subjected to inhuman treatment. So the way we treat widows are just very bad.
I'm speaking based on context I have seen. Sometimes widows are not uh, treated properly when their husband dies. Sometimes they are subjected to some kind of measures and situations that are very difficult for them to handle, especially during the time of the bereavement. So I think they need more support from their husbands, people, from the community, and from the society in general. Their own family members, like from their siblings, need to rally around them. But in more precise way, I think the husband's people need to be by their side to help them process what has just happened, rather than sometimes, burdening them and loading them with even sometimes accusations as to having contributed to the death of the man, which has happened in some instances.
I will address it in two arms. First off, widows should have rights in Nigeria. Why I say widows should have rights in Nigeria is, firstly, these are people that just lost their loved one, and the society sometimes, under the native law and custom of the Igbos especially, most times they don't even see the widow as somebody that should inherit the estates of the deceased. Why? It's because they feel, especially for the people that never gave birth to a male child, they will see them that they don't have the capacity to be administrators of their husband's estate. Uncles that are greedy will always feast on those things and take up the properties of this widow. Secondly, under Nigerian native law and custom, women generally are not even seen to be part of people that should inherit properties, even from their paternal side, talk more of their husband's side. But good enough that under the law, there is a Supreme Court decision that says, in the case of Ukeja and Ukeja, that a woman can actually inherit the properties of the father.
Some are being treated rightly, why some are not. But if you talk about e-treatment, maybe you can be talking about in terms of properties. Let me talk in legal aspect of it, because we see a lot of cases like that in court whenever maybe a husband is dead and the family members are trying to take away the property, not minding that the disease has family, have children to take care of. And it's also through that property that these children can be taken care of. But some of them are being taken away their properties and all that, which is very bad. It's very, very bad. We have a lot of them in courts. So we try as much as we can to help them in any way we can. So there are some culture that's not fair to say. I won't say that I don't know some cultures that's not fair. And that aspect we need to come in and help. There are many of them, many of them.
This is still Signature Morning, and you're on Signature TV. I will always say follow us on all our social media handles at Signature TV Officials on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And don't forget, on YouTube, we're 24 hours live. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave it there. Right now, we're switching guests, and because of the popular demand for it, we would have to play the interview that we had with ENUGU. Stay with us.
Welcome back. This is Signature Television. So today we are still on that very important discourse about searching for Igbo leaders and the true Igbo leadership. I mean, there's a whole lot that have been spoken about Igbo leadership in the past. Some people, you know, sometimes go back as far back as, you know, 1920s, 1930s, with that mantra, Igbo Enweze. You know, where did that come from? Is it really true that Igbos don't have leadership? And to what extent has that even affected us? Do you think also that the war, the civil war that happened between 1967 and 1970, also played a role in the way and manner our leadership have, deteriorated in the past, especially as it concerns the Igbo nation? Today we have with us someone who is an Igwe, who is also a leader in his own right, to speak to us about this whole issue about Igbo leadership and the true nature and the true standard of what exactly the Igbos are looking for. His Royal Majesty Igwe Professor Chukwuemeka Anayo Ngunta joins us on the program today. Good to have you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I mean, from your standpoint,
Yes.
do Igbos have leaders?
Yes. We have quality leaders, traditionally and professionally. Yes.
What brought about that thought? Ibwe.
Very beautiful. I will start by introducing myself normally to you. However, I remain His Royal Majesty Igwe Professor Chukwuemeka Ubunta. Yeah, MTR, CON, and JP, Justice of Peace. Yes, people started bringing up the issue of Igwe because of a lot of things that we have encountered in our country, so-called Nigeria. All this started by political and tribal misunderstandings. What I mean by political and tribal crisis is because political has to go to the marginalizations of Igbos. When you come into the issue of national cake, that is political appointments, we have few Igbos in the federal political appointments. Then, when you come to the issue of employment, for instance, recruitment of Igbos or recruitment of people into militaries, paramilitaries, and otherwise, you see that hence you are not an Igbo man. I mean, hence you are an Igbo man. Your CV or your credentials will not say true. Then, when you come to the religion, that's the tribal aspect of it, you know that we the Igbos, we are minority. Because Igbos are mostly Christians. But other tribes, Hausa and Yoruba, they are more together in Muslim religion. And that brings them together. Then, when you bring these two things together, you see that the Hausas and the Yorubas, when they bring out their Oba or their Emir, it's like they are worshiping them. Because the way and manner they install them, and the way and manners they respect them in their own culture and in their own tradition. It's like in Igbo, because in Igbo land we are agitating for we need to go, we need Biafra, we need this, we need that, because of marginalization. Okay, at the point in time they are dragging or agitating for all these things, you see that an Eze, when an Eze comes out to talk, someone will stand up to say, Oga, for now, sit down. We need this. We want Biafra. We want the other one. Whereas we, the Ezes, we are trying to calm the situation down by telling them, cool down, we need one Nigeria. That thing you are agitating for in the federal levels, that is in the sense of political appointments, is something that we have to come to a round table and discuss about it, so that even the presidency, they will begin to give us listening ears over political appointments. It is just this political appointment that is bringing the issue of Igwe Weze. Igwe Weze. we Igbos, like I myself, I'm a first-class traditional ruler. And when I talk to my people hear, and they respect me. But you see, some of our Igbo people, mostly some people that claim to be Igbos, but they are not Igbos. When you talk of other people like our neighboring states, Benue man now, if you see him on the road, he will dress up as Igbo man, put on red cap. When you ask him, Chief, how are you? He says, sorry, sir. He's not a chief who, you begin to tell that is their own attire. Then you see another person, like the other time in Delta State, you see somebody who will dress purely like an Igbo man, like a chief, like even as a traditional ruler. When you approach him to say, "May I know you? Which title do you have?" You tell them, no, this one. So, and the same people, they are imitating with the title people. Therefore, when you now say, sit down here, that one will be the first person to tell you, where is it? Whereas we Igbos, we have Eze. Eze means king. And a pure king, original king, son of the soil of Igbo land, when he speaks, people will hear, and people will respect and obey him.
All right, so at what point really did we lose it? Because you have highlighted some issues in the past that have brought us to this moment. At what point do you think that we lost it so much so that we stopped respecting our leaders? So many youths these days, even when their Igwe speak, they tend to not obey the Igwe. It wasn't obtainable in the past. At what point did we lose it? I mean, the most recent case, in fact, is the case of Nnamdi Kanu.
Good.
So many leaders spoke to him about the way and manner he was going about uttering his words. But, I mean, he didn't listen. And now, upon this time of the day, we haven't seen anybody come up. No leader have actually come up to speak for him and even put their head on the line for him, you know, and now he's still in jail. So I'm just wondering, at what point do you think that we lost it with this leadership thing in the East?
Very beautiful. In the case of my brother, Nnamdi Kanu, I personally, with Okwadike N'ibuukwu, the late Chukwuemeka Ezeife, former governor of Anambra State, we visited Nnamdi. We tried to visit Nnamdi Kanu at DSS office in Abuja. They refused to allow us to enter. Then later on again, I and Obiozo, with 3 other persons, we visited him. What we found out from Nnamdi Kanu is not stubborn. It was, as the case of this, the same marginalization and intimidations with this discrimination of Igbos. That is why this man came up to agitate of Biafra.
But at the time he was speaking about these issues, there were no leaders speaking about it. There were nobody talking about this marginalization the way that he even went about it. You know, so some people say that it's a failure of leadership of the Igbos at the time. That is the reason why Nnamdi Kanu emerged in the first place.
Let me help you. Nnamdi Kanu, before he emerged, there was this man we call Wazirike. He came up during his time. He tried to negotiate with the then presidency to see how they will accommodate Igbos fully in national cake. The national cake we are talking about is sharing formula of political powers in Nigeria. We are highly being intimidated. Based on that, they disappointed him. At a stage, the young man, he felt that he couldn't go further. Rather, he stepped down. Before Nnamdi Kanu came up again, when Nnamdi Kanu came up, he consulted some traditional rulers. He consulted some political muggles in Igbo land. And they still told him, if Nigeria could accommodate us fully in national cake, that the sharing formula, if we negotiate very well about the sharing formula in the federal levels, politically, that he will go down. But at the same time, they refused him. They did not want to listen. Even till today, the same thing is still happening. So based on that, Nnamdi Kanu came up. But as a matter of fact, today, we are now negotiating on the ground, talking to our top government leaders, government officials. Let me tell you, I am a member of Monarch Traditional Rulers in Council of Nigeria. So we, the Royal Majesties, not Royal Highnesses, Royal Majesties, we have been meeting. The other day we were in Kano, the other day we were in Taraba, the other day we were in Medugri, trying to sort out things. Very soon Nnamdi Kanu will come out, because all hands are coming now on desk to make sure that there is peace. Actually, we need one Nigeria. We need a peaceful Nigeria. Before the war, what brought about the war is still the same marginalization, intimidation, discrimination. Then after the war, we still came back together because they declared no victory, no vanquish. Instead of us now to come back again to round table, as they agreed in Abri in Ghana, some people still disappointed, some people still fall apart. Based on that, Nnamdi Kanu, all these things are some of the points he's using today to agitate. But by his grace, in as much as I, His Royal Majesty, Igwe Professor Anayo Chukwuemeka Ogunta is concerned, there is a peaceful negotiation going on the ground from one state to the other. In fact, we are bringing all hands on desk to make sure that very soon Nnamdi Kanu will come out from that place.
So when he is released, do you think the agitation would end? Because you have mentioned that there is marginalization of the Igbos. You have also highlighted that it hasn't stopped, that marginalization, is continuing even with this current administration. So even if he is released, that particular issue never goes away. How do you think the government can integrate the Igbos into national politics? And do you see it happening under this administration?
Yes. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given us some words of encouragement recently, that if we, the monarch traditional rulers, can guarantee him that if Nnamdi Kanu is being released, that these agitations will come to an end. Fine and good, the agitation will come to an end if also the federal government will consider bringing Igbos to the inner circle of what they are doing. I am laying much emphasis on national cake, political sharing, political power sharing. Give Mr. Wankwo, give Mr. Dele, give Mr. Yusuf. Everybody will go home smiling. There will be peace. But in terms of when Mr. Wankwo comes in, they say close the door. That we only need Yusuf and Abubakar. The agitation will continue. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he's a man to the core. He has brain, he has wisdom. He listens to people. He respects traditional rulers so much. So with our last meeting with him, he has given us his word that if Nnamdi is being released, that we should make sure that every protest and every agitation about Biafra, about Igbo nation will come to an end, provided he carry Igbos along. That's all.
Is that what exactly that was said at the meeting?
Yes, that is what we agreed on. And I believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he will not disappoint the monarch traditional rulers.
So the meeting discussed conditions as to why Nnamdi Kanu will be released.
Yes.
Were there mention of the fact that there are court processes that were done that released Nnamdi Kanu and the government refused under the last administration?
This time around, we want to call a spade as carpenter's tools. If you want to remind two fighters what brought about the fight, the grievances will continue. But if you bring the two fighters, for instance, they are dragging this cup, you say, okay, gentlemen, is it this cup that is the problem? Okay. Go and bring, maybe as we have three major ethnic groups, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. You say, okay, this one goes to these people, this one goes to these people, this one goes to these people. When we, the Igbos, when we come back home, we have our people. For instance, when you get to Delta now, you see Delta Igbos, You go to Kogi now, you see some Kogi Igbos. You go to Hausa, you see the Fulanis, you see the Hausas, you see many of them. So they, each group will go back home and discuss how they will share their own. And thereby, when this thing is being done like that, I think there will be peace. So the presidency, as a matter of fact, today, they have known the truth of what the Igbos are suffering. And now that they have known, Tinubu is a man that has listening ear. He's a man with wisdom, and he has promised to do something. And I am promising Nigeria that in as much as we, the monarch, traditional rulers and council are concerned, we are going to make sure that there is peace, complete peace, love and harmony in this country in the nearest future. We don't want all these protests and all these fightings, provided that simple national cake could be shared on a round table with a good formula. There will be peace, there will be happiness.
Right. I don't know the collaborations that you have with political leaders. That's the Igwes now and the Majesties. I don't know the extent of the collaborations you have. Do you think what we have right now, as it stands, in terms of politics and sharing of resources in the southeastern region, do you think the amount of monies that have been pumped in since 1999 up until this moment is commensurate with the development that we're seeing right now?
Of course. You see, since 1999, the money, the allocations coming in, because like in Igbo land, we have only 5 states. We have original 5 states of Igbo land: Imo, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Abia. When there is crisis, if you hold a Delta man, he will tell you, I know Igbo, me I be Delta, I be Middle Belt too. You hold a Kogi man, he will, me I know Igbo, I be this. You can see what this my boy in what's that his name? Asare Dokubo. He's an Igbo man. But when there is crisis, he will deny that he's not an Igbo man. So based on all these things, the allocations coming to the 5 states, the Igbo nation, the Igbo land, is too small. We have the smallest portion. We have the smallest states. In Hausa, they have, in fact, when you check the 36 states, Hausas and Yorubas, they have the majority, the major states. But when you talk of Eastern Nigeria, it is now that they just added south, southeast. The ancient kingdom knows that Igbo land is Eastern Nigeria. And these are the 5 states that I have just mentioned. But even if the other neighboring states, they don't want to associate with us because we have been carrying our cross since 1970s till date. If federal government will say, okay, Igbo state governors, the 5 Igbo state governors, go home and discuss, give us what you want, so that when all these things are being given to you people, there will be hope, there will be peace in Igbo land. I think this is another assignment I will chip into the presidency, so that if they can grant us that opportunity. Honestly speaking, my good brother and our illustrious son, Nnamdi Kanu, he's a peaceful man. He has the listening ears. When all these things are being done, he will come out and there will be peace.
Right. What I'm saying exactly is the resources that we have received in the last 23 years, 24 years of democracy since 1999, successive leaders have come and gone in terms of politics. You know, we can even do a rundown for Enugu State, for instance, from Chimaroke to Sullivan to Ifeanyi, and then this current administration. With the monies that have come into the southeastern zone, the 5 states,
Yes.
is it commensurate with the development that we have? Some people will say that it's not even commensurate. Yes, you could say that in the zone, we are the smallest in terms of allocation, but even the one that we have, that we receive, that we know we receive every month, is it commensurate with the development that we see every day? And how are you, the people in your territory, you know, addressing these issues or speaking truth to power and talking to the governors about using the resources given to them from the federal allocation or even from the states by means of IGR, you know, to invest in the state?
Yes. For now, as I have said, it is not enough. They have to increase our IGR. They have to increase, because here in Eastern Nigeria, we don't have a lot. We don't have enough. For instance, we don't have seaports. The Port Harcourt seaport is not enough to serve us. The crude oil we are talking about, you see the Niger Delta, they have given them NDCC. They even gave them a minister. Now, that area now, no Igbo man could work there. So when they want to push in or bring in enough IGR, enough resources to Igbo nation, that is the 5 states of Igbo land, we can manage it, and you will see that there will be a good development. It's not when this cup is being sold in the market 10,000 naira, and you are giving somebody 2,000 naira to go and buy the cup, automatically you don't want him to buy the cup. So when the allocation coming to the Igbo nation is not sufficient enough to establish, to develop the Igbo land, we will keep on crying. No good roads. Go to Abuja, go to Kaduna, go to Kano, go to all the northern states. You see the kind of road they have. But because they are not giving us enough, we try to manage to repair and to build, and today, tomorrow, it will destroy, it will get spoiled. We need enough fund. We need enough
You don't
resources.
think that the monies that are sent to the East are somehow, somewhat being pilfered, being stolen by government officials? Even the little that we have, you know, we don't even utilize it to the best of our abilities. You don't think so?
No.
You mean that what we have is just too small?
It's too small
for us.
It's too small. Our politicians, our political leaders in Igbo land, in Igbo nation, they are gentlemen. They are not thieves. The only thing is that they are not being well funded. So when they are trying to squeeze out that money, someone that is working, or someone that is cooking or running a restaurant, know how the person must taste a small chop before things will go on very well. So my political leaders in Igbo land, they are very powerful. They are doing their jobs, but we are still pleading to the presidency to fund Igbo nation very well.
Right.
Then give us double portion.
What is for you? Talk us through the processes of choosing an ideal Igbo leader, either politically or even traditionally.
Good. You see, nobody is a saint. I must have to tell you, nobody is a saint. For instance, now, when you come to Igbo land, we have some gentlemen that are good leaders, that are good politicians. But sometimes we discover that some of them that don't have money to buy political power or to run, jump, and pass businesses in the political arena, it seems as if they don't know what to do. Because we have some gentlemen, some educationalists, some people that could, I mean, when they step into an office, they will give you the analysis of how to run the government or how to run a state. But sometimes you discover that they don't have the money to buy the power. And those people that purchases the power, they will try to extract the money they used, the money they spent during the campaign or during the process of purchasing that power. So at the end of the day, you see that the allocation given to the state or to the person to the state is not being properly used. But in a situation whereby we, the traditional rulers, we comes together, and our politicians could also give us listening ears, we will come down and select quality people that will take Igbo nation to a greater heights. For today, the ones we have, they are doing their best, but they need more room for advice. Because a child that doesn't take advice runs mad.
So what role do you think traditional institutions play in our political leadership?
Yes, the roles we need to play there is this. For instance, when you come to a particular community, every community knows how a child, the king or the igwe or the eze in that community, he knows the background of a particular family. Every particular family, they knows it. There are some that are not, there are some that are no go area. There are some that are known to be gentle. So if you want to select a good candidate, you go to that area. Those people that are very calm, those people that are truthful, those people that are sincere, those people that will not enter the office and become, saboteurs to embezzle the state fund. So we, the traditional rulers, we still need to work more closer to our politicians so that we can get something done, something very achievable.
All right. His Royal Majesty Igwe Professor Chukwuemeka Anayo Ogunta. Thank you so much for your insights on today's program. It's revealing and it's quite interesting, and I'm sure that we would continue engaging on these issues as it concerns Igbo Nation, so we can have a clear direction as to where we're headed. I don't know if you can give us a timeline of when Nnamdi Kanu would be released. Do you have a timeline? Was that discussed?
For now, we are still working on. We are still doing our underground work, our underground negotiations.
Okay.
But in the nearest future, no distance that much, he will be released.
At least this year?
Yes. Let me say, if I should quote, you are trying to put it to me.
No, I'm not putting it.
If you put it to me this year, I will claim it. You understand me? But I know that my brother, our son, Nnamdi Kanu, God have heard his prayers. And Tinubu will be the Messiah to release him for us.
In the discourse that we had with Chief Igwe Chukwuemeka Ogunta, giving us his insights into what he thinks that Igbo leaders should be doing in order to aspire to be, to be good leaders across board. We have right on the Zoom network, Mr. Carl Chinedu. Mr. Carl Chinedu is actually a chairman, Civil Liberties Organization, South South Zone. If you can hear me, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. How is Rivers State this morning? Okay, so today, I don't know if you can hear me clearly, but we're supposed to be discussing detainees of the End Bad Governance protests. Can you give us an overview of what you think about the protests that lasted for 10 days in some parts? Some people would say the protests really didn't achieve anything. Some others would say it did achieve a little of the things, at least there's this consciousness in government that the people are very angry with their policies. Do you think the protests achieved anything?
The network is very poor. Carl, can you hear us? Carl, good morning. Can you hear us? The network is quite not appreciated.
Okay, I mean, Carl, I think it's a bit difficult for us to have this conversation. Maybe we would just head to a short break and then maybe reconnect with you so that we can have this audio cleared out properly. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
First of all, I would like to talk about the government. Like the way the government are ruling us is not. I don't understand. It's not actually right. There is bad government. The cost of living here is high, which will not blame anybody. If I'm opportune to leave this country, I will leave like without wasting time.
Why?
Yes, because the cost of living is high. Everything, prices of everything keep on increasing, which is not growing the country, and it is improper for everybody. So if the government can like put their head together, balance the cost of living for everybody, and like organize this country, I think the range of people living in the country will reduce. For me as a student now, going to some federal universities, there is increase in school fees, which is not proper.
Oh.
Yes, and for the minimum wages, which I also saying, I pray they should work on that too.
Okay.
Yes, so you won't blame anybody who is living in this country.
Nigeria is not a good country to be in. That's my honest opinion. Like the cost of living and all is really bad. It's killing people actually. Like some people can't actually like even to get like 3 square meals. People can't actually get it. And we as students, we're not enjoying. We're suffering. You know these things like they say students are in a better position. We're not enjoying at all. Like we are suffering like increase of school fees. Sometimes we don't even tell our parents. Like we that's why we have some like side hustles to do to also get money to finish up, because like the price of school fees and things are increasing, and they keep on billing us and all. So Nigeria is really not a good country to be in. If I had an opportunity, I will leave with immediate effect, not even wasting time. I feel studying abroad like there's more of practicals than in Nigeria, and you don't really I would say like to go there like actually like it costs you a fortune, but once you're there I don't think you can actually like regret it in any way. So I feel studying abroad is better than studying in Nigeria.
So many things are hard, you know, the way things are going now in this country. Even if I see chance now, I will run away. I run to another country. Serious, because things our money has no value anymore. When you go to America, when you bring their dollars, you will see that our money is just like our 100 naira now cannot even buy small fufu that will feed this my baby self. So talk more of. So that's why people are running away because of hardship.
People travel to abroad to our back country. It's not that thing. So if you say government still they do this country normal as it's supposed to do. So people cannot travel to leave our whole country, travel to another place. If I share opportunity for as I stand here, I will leave. But as I youth now, I don't get joy. I don't get joy for government.
Wow, a lot is happening in this country, especially from the last regime till now. Okay, they have a lot of crash. Something like food, cost of living. Okay, cost of living is bad. It's going higher every blessed day. Okay, then foodstuffs. Okay, and in short, we have bad economy. We have bad economy in this country right now. Things change upside down. Okay, instead of coming down, it's going higher every day. My dear, I'm leaving today, if I have the opportunity, I'll just call my children that I'm moving out to. Because what we are seeing every blessed day is too bad.
Nigerians are leaving Nigeria because of hardship that the country is suffering today. And that is why everybody is finding a way to leave the country.
Okay, because of the situation of the country, I think individuals are looking for greener pastures outside the country. So, and the government is not helping matters at all in this country. So, anyone that has the opportunity to go outside to, earn more for a living, will grab the opportunity.
Welcome to today's edition of Internet Watch. I am Joshua Oritogun, here to keep you up to date with the latest news buzzing online. Our first story on Internet Watch is grabbing attention across the nation. A court has directed former Governor Yahaya Bello to present himself for arraignment with a stern warning to comply or face the full force of the law. And of course, this is not the first time, so let's just move on. This development has sparked intense discussions online, and the comment sections are on fire with opinions, debate, and reaction from all sides. Now, let's dive into what people are saying and how this could shape the narrative around accountability and justice in the political landscape. Vade is saying, face the law when you guys claimed thugs. Okay, wait, let me read this again. It says, face the law when you guys claim thugs stole the fight during the protest. Are we a joke to you guys? Like, really, are we a joke to you? Yeah? Next on the comment section, I have InShort Tech. InShort Tech is saying, what has he been facing before? I beg, give us another news. There is nothing you can do with this one again. In his word, useless people. Of course, we've been waiting to hear of some developments that would happen with Yahaya Bello, but nothing has happened. Mayor of Los Angeles is saying, if the man still stays in this country, then the country got no laws, clean and clear. True. If Yahaya Bello is still in this country, I mean, this same Nigeria, our own Nigeria, then forget it. It's just the poor people that get, locked up easily. Engineer C. Peter is saying our institution is weak and only active whenever unprivileged Nigerians are involved. Exactly what I was just saying. It is only when the unprivileged are just involved, that's when you see them, uniform, EFCC everywhere. I'm not supporting Yahoo boys, but if this was a Yahoo boy, we know what happened to be Lord. Disciple whom Jesus loved is saying, what kind of court order is this? It should be wherever Yahaya Bello is seen, he should be arrested and jailed. That should be the law, not come to the court and let's see you, let's talk. Next is saying the refusal to appear before the court to defend the litigant case on mismanagement of fund has hurt the rule of law in the country, which is a shame to the judicial system despite the recent upsurge in their salary remuneration. Of course, they've increased it to over like 300%. These guys are cashing out. Yes. Lastly, I have Extra. Extra is saying, same court that declared Bulabla the winner of the elections. Una the joke. Well, if this is the same court that declared Bulabla according to what Extra said, not me, what Extra said, if it's the same court that declared Bulabla the president, then forget it. Forget it. Our next story is making waves globally. Yomi Olayeye, a 40-year-old Nigerian man known as Sabi, was arrested on August 13, 2024 at JFK International Airport in New York City. He is now facing serious charges of conspiracy, wire fraud, and identity theft for allegedly masterminding a $10 million scam that exploited COVID-19 unemployment benefits in the United States. This scheme, which spanned multiple states, siphoned off funds meant to support individuals affected by the pandemic. I'm already very angry with this story. Very angry. The arrest has sparked a flood of online discussions, with many highlighting the international reach and severe consequences of such fraud. It's a sobering reminder of how global crises can be manipulated for illicit gains. I'll take you right away to the comment section. Daniel is saying, I hate how the bad acts of a few always reflect on us. Nigerians have been stigmatized as fraudsters, and it's upsetting because once a Nigeria is accused or caught, many foreigners tend to generalize. This affects many hardworking Nigerians who base abroad, as they have to prove themselves unnecessarily. Hope the criminal faces the wrath of the law. It's true, because something like this affects the whole country. Everybody sees it as Nigerian. Everybody is the one suffering, not just one person. Magazine AfriQ is saying crime, fraud doesn't always end well. Stay away from fraud and crime. I'm begging you, stay away from fraud and crime. It doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. Next on the comment section, I have Ben Samuel. Ben Samuel said, US doesn't play. We are still looking. wait. US doesn't play. Full stop. Full stop, rather. We are still looking for Agbayawu, the white lion. Of course, that was the story I brought the first, but that was Yahaya Bello. Peter is saying, see as them chain them like terrorists. Legit brings and gives freedom. I am a free man. Peter is saying he's a free man because he does allege it. Mark is saying, why do the world hate Nigerians in quotes? And his response was, you know hate thief. Who like thief? In this country, who like thief? Ibu Clifford is saying, chains on waist and legs are wide, brav. He's not even escaping with all those men around. Where you want to escape go? This is not Nigeria. You can't just, mago your way out. Ben is saying, if you do the crime, you serve the time. Next on the comment section, I have... Now, this is the comment that I loved and I saved because I wanted to read it out for you. Mr. Steven. Mr. Steven is saying, you left your country, Nigeria, in shambles, poverty and corruption, and relocated to another man's country and saw them suffering, offering benefits for the unemployed. And you thought, wow, these Oyinbo people no get sense. See how them they throw away money. So in your daft low IQ mind, you decide to defraud the system you did not build, neither did your ancestors build. There is comedy, let's focus because we know what happened during it. You also selfishly did not think this government is not Nigeria. It's not Nigeria government, or the police here are not Nigerian police or EFCC officials. EFCC officials, they've called you guys out again. Lastly, your weak, selfish, self-centered, self-indulgent, corrupt mind did not care what reputational damage you will cause people who are unfortunate to come from the same country as your sorry evil soul. My prayer for this half-hearted, despicable buffoon of a person is that your end will be painful and wickedness will not depart from your life. You will sow and others will reap, and your years will be short and painful. Idiot. This guy was really angry. Mr. Steven was angry. And of course, I saved it for the last because that really did capture everything. Of course, this guy was selfish. He just thought about himself. This was going to have a ripple effect on us Nigerians. You can't just travel now again without you being double searched and triple searched and double searched. Well, as we wrap up today's edition of Internet Watch, remember this. In a world where everyone is trying to fit in, being different is your greatest strength. It's what sets you apart, gives you your unique voice, and makes you stand out in the crowd. Embrace it, celebrate it, and let it guide you. I am Joshua Ritogun, and it's been a pleasure sharing these stories with you. Until next time, keep pushing boundaries, embracing your uniqueness, and never stop making your mark.
Welcome back. You are watching Signature Morning. Thank you so much, Joshua, for that interesting Internet Watch. So we're switching gears right now. Very recently, ASU, that's the Academic Staff Union of Universities, gave the federal government a 21-day notice of strike. To discuss this further is the NAN's chairman in ENUGU State. We're talking about Ms. Priska Okeke. Good to have
Comrade,
you.
actually.
Good morning.
Comrade Priska Okeke.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you do?
I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Now, before we get into the 21-day ultimatum, can you just share with us your experience as someone who is a student of an institution in Nigeria, your experience about ASU strike?
Okay, it's not just my experience. It's an experience for every student, every Nigerian student studying here in Nigeria. The ASU strike is not one thing we like because we want 4 years course to be 4 years course, 5 years to be 5 years. We don't want a situation where someone will get admission and you're supposed to be studying a course for 5 years, and the next thing, ASU goes on strike, sometimes 6 months, if the federal government is not listening to them. And this affects our academic calendar. You now see schools rushing things just to meet up. So the experience is not good, neither for me nor for any student in Nigeria.
So, okay, how does it affect the quality of education? Now, I know that it's possible, yes, it affects the students. So now, the quality of education in Nigeria, how does ASU strike affect the quality of education in Nigeria?
Okay. First of all, I would say if you're not happy with your job, you can't give it your all. That's one thing I know for sure. If you're not happy with your job, you can't give it your all. So these men, these women, they are being owed These people have been clamoring for change or for certain things to be considered for so long, and they are not doing it. So they're obviously no longer happy with the fact that they are not being considered. So you see an angry woman, an angry man come to the classroom. How do you expect such person to relate to the students? They are very angry. They are not happy. Lecturers, you see the male ones, these things result to so many other things. If you're not being paid, you must cater for your family. Now you're leaving your house in an empty stomach in the morning to go to the classroom. How are you supposed to teach the students with happiness? Sometimes they transfer this aggression to just innocent students who have done nothing to them. So it's affecting them all around. Academically, it's affecting them in terms of their families and so on.
So I was just trying to think through. The last ASU strike, they were owed, and I don't know if they've cleared that salary of the last ASU strike. I think it was 2 years ago, so under the Buhari administration. Are you aware if they have cleared that salary? Because I understand that at some points, some lecturers claim that they have paid them. Some say they have not received. I don't know. Have they been paid?
That's the information we have. Some say they have, some say they have not. And now, this particular strike now is due to the government not considering their cry for over a decade. Something, their agreement, reconsideration and stuff for over a decade. So, if some are saying they have paid them, some are saying they have not paid them.
Okay.
And this things affects our government-owned tertiary institutions. These government men, most of their children don't attend government-owned tertiary institutions. So maybe that is the reason why they don't care much about what is going on in that area. Because they can take their children abroad, take their children, even those that are children that are studying here in Nigeria, they still take them to one of the best universities in Nigeria to study. Now, we, the daughters and sons of the common man, we are now being affected largely because our lecturers are not being paid, the non-academic staff are not being paid, and so many other things that are affecting the academic sector.
Okay, what, in your own way, in your own view or perception, what do you think are the economic implications of these strikes, both on students, parents, and the nation at large? And as a result, how do you also think it contributes to brain drain in Nigeria? So I think we should take it one at a time. What are the economic implications of these strikes on both parents, students, and the nation at large?
Okay. Speaking economically, it's making people spend on things, maybe like times 2, instead of just doing it once. Now, if you're in a class for a semester, you're supposed to buy books and cater for other things for the section that you're taking. But now, when they go on strike, you see students going home when not supposed. And generally, if there's no cash flow in the country, what are we doing? The families are hungry. These lecturers, their families are hungry. And some of them are our parents as well. I don't know if you understand, yeah. So some of the lecturers have their students studying here. So it's affecting them largely, both their children and themselves as staff of ASU. So now mentally, we can't say less or say more about the mental stress. Let's take it this way. You have something planned out for 4 years, and now something just comes in between and shortens that period of 4 years, taking away 6 months, 1 year, sometimes more. And you're just at home doing what? I've had this experience, like you want to, okay, should I take this skill while I wait for ASU? But what if I register for this skill and they call off the strike? They'll just leave you confused, not knowing what to do as a student now. Now, as a parent, your children are back, you don't know what's next for them. Some will start considering, okay, can I be able to afford a private institution? I am tired of this whole strike of a thing. So you see, it works all round. It affects everybody.
Okay, so how do you also think it contributes to brain drain? You know, with students and lecturers, everybody fleeing to the abroad for both education and employment?
We're saying it now, the Japa syndrome is no longer a news. Everybody in Nigeria knows about the Japa syndrome. If I get an opportunity to leave Nigeria now, do you think I'll say no? Even you seated here, if you get an opportunity to leave like right now, are you going to stay back?
I possibly
I mean, some of us want the country to be better.
Good, so
Okay.
I'm possibly going to be staying
So,
back.
so that's why we are all here, trying to see how we can lend our voices to see if we can at least make the country better.
There's even a statistics to that effect.
Okay.
I think 3 years ago, they say like 5 out of 10 Nigerians, if they find the opportunity, that they would leave. But right now, it's 9
if not
out of 10. Out of 10 Nigerians who they see the opportunity, they would actually leave the country, and it's just so bad. I'm just wondering, from your perspective, as NAN's chairman in ENUGU, is there a role you guys play in strikes like this?
Yes.
What roles you guys play?
Sometimes in fact, most times we join ASU. We join ASU, joining them online with our voices, and also in strike. In fact, if it's getting too much, you see the student community saying they want to go for a protest. It's very dangerous. We sometimes want to protest to protect the interest of ASU. Okay. To say we are tired of sitting at home, we are tired of staying at home. Please, federal government, listen to these people, listen to our people that take care of us in our various institutions, and get us back to school. Because without the students, there won't be ASU, and without ASU, there won't be students.
Well, would your protest go to ASU to just take it easy, at least for the time being?
The protest goes to both angles. We are saying federal government, listen to them, and we are saying ASU, please also, if the demands are too much, I think people should consider taking it one at a time.
Okay.
Yes, if the federal government can meet half of your demand for now, please give them a little more time. Allow us to come back to school, to continue our studies, while you continue your engagement with federal government to now see how they can do better.
Okay, is there, because since the time I could remember, ASU strike has always been, it's been recurring year after year, month after month. Is there a sort of coping mechanism that you think the student or NANS has developed to help, students and also the lecturers? Is there like a coping mechanism of any sort?
We can do so much when it comes to ASU. ASU is an organization, is a body that has leadership. And when people are not comfortable, they agitate. So I think this is a case of an organization trying to see how they can agitate for what is right for them. Okay, ASU, I don't believe they just wake up one day and decide to go on strike. I believe they've been engaging, they've been trying to get attention, reaching out to the federal government, and maybe the federal government is not listening to them. Then they will now come out publicly to say, okay, since it's this way, this is now going to be our decision for now.
No, I'm saying, is there any coping mechanism that students, not lecturers, that students have devised to, absorb the strikes?
We resort to more research online, trying to study online, trying to follow up. But the school calendar is the school calendar. You can't be called a graduate if you've not finished it. And if anything disturbs the school calendar, you have to start over again from where you stopped. So you might have all the knowledge you have that you've acquired from online, taking lectures online from other schools. So I'm even registering for online schools that yes, but you are in this school, you need this certificate as well. You have to follow the curriculum. So whenever the strike is over, you will come back to school and continue from wherever you stopped. So yes, we are trying to study online. We're buying books while we are home during the strike. We'll be reading. Then some schools are also pulling out from the ASU. Like there are some schools who are no longer members of ASU.
Why do you think they are pulling out?
So many reasons. Some schools are now feel like, okay, we can raise funds and
pay
salaries, take care of the school environment, take care of our students on our own.
And these funds, where does it come from? Do they raise it from the students?
That's where you see cases like increment in school fees.
But I also sometimes even sanction these schools. There's always a problem that happens when some institution come and announce that we're not joining the strike. You see ASU, become mad, and sometimes they even go to the school to even shut the school down. So sometimes there's this chaos that comes with
internal stuff. It happens everywhere.
So how does NANS react to such kinds of things? Do you people still go to school? Since you say you are joining ASU most of the time, when things like that happen for an institution, say for instance a UNN, what does NAN do?
If your school is pulling out from ASU, the students will be happy to go to school. While we go to school, we'll continue to support what they are fighting for.